Thank you to Kvod Harav. Beautiful place. Baruch Hashem, you see it's brand new. And it'll be packed with people. Always, I heard there's a kollel here from 9:30 in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then from 4 o'clock until 7:30. It's like a full-time yeshiva. Baruch Hashem. Very good. That's the way to succeed. When the Torah is there, everything else follows. There's no Torah, it's very hard to maintain a place. Torah, it's the blessing of the place. Why? The Torah says, "Mesir ozno mishmoa Torah, gam tfilato toeva." A Jew show Hashem that he's not interested in Torah, only davening and leave. That's it. Hashem said to him, do me a favor, keep your davening for yourself. Torah, I'm very interested in your davening. No Torah, no, Seder. It's important, but not as much. Torah, it's always come first. Baruch Hashem, this place is going to be full of Torah all the time. Bezrat Hashem. Tonight, we're speaking about the Jewish home. And it's one of the main problems that the Jewish world is facing today. It's the increasing divorce rates. The increasing divorce rates in the last 20, 25 years, it's a very, very serious problem. The statistic shows today that couples that are getting married right now in Israel, in New York, in high-class places, within 4 years, more than 70% of the couples ending up getting divorced. In that case, who needs to get married, if that's the case? If it was up to me, if I had the time and the money, the first thing I would have done is to open a college to educate people how to become husbands and how to become wives. Full time, the whole entire year to learn how to enter the chuppah. The problem that we have today, that almost no Jew, no boy or girl are ready in the time that they start their marriage. Of course, the rabbis and the rebbitzin are doing as much as they can to prepare them to learn the laws of nidah and some preparation for the house. But it's not a one-man job. You have to prepare people for the psychology of the woman alone. You have to learn months. For raising children, for depression before giving birth and depression after giving birth. For that alone you need a course. There's so many things in the house that one day they get married, they just don't know what to do. Just don't know what to do. Many, many things there are to learn in order for us to become husband and wife. And the reason I say it, in previous generations, everybody saw his parents, and the parents behaved more or less in a perfect way. Like 50, 60, 100 years ago, parents were very religious. There was respect in the house. Everything was based on the Torah. So the kids saw how a kosher house should be maintained. That's it. They didn't need a college. Today, there was about 40, 50 years, about 1 or 2 generations in every edah, every nationality that went far away from the Torah. The parents, our parents and our grandparents, already went far away from the Torah. That's the reality today in the world. And the kids today are waking up to come back to Avinu Shebashamayim, to our Father in heaven. But they are facing a very serious problem. Because some of us, our parents don't even know what bracha to make on an apple. Not only that, some of the parents don't really know Aleph Bet, ABC of Judaism. A lot of them, because of ignorance, they are anti-Torah, anti-religion. Instead of helping and supporting the kids for becoming righteous, they fight against it. They run after them, they torture them, they give them all kinds of restrictions, trying to break their spirits in order for them to become just like them. Why? Because they're afraid. What's their biggest fear? The biggest fear is, my son's going to be ultra-Orthodox, he's going to run away from me. He's not going to want to come to eat in my house. He's going to feel embarrassed that I'm his father. That's what motivate them, because they are nervous. And that's a problem that this generation have. One problem is the kids, the young generation that become Baalei Tshuva. They have nobody to teach them how to behave in a house, even though their parents is not religious. And they are going into arguments that it's not really necessary, and that makes the situation in the house very bad. And then when they really need to argue for something, they just don't have the strength. because they wasted all their energy about arguments that were not necessary. So now when they really need to fight for something, how many fights you can have every week? That's a problem. People have no education how to maintain a Jewish home. And that's a problem. On top of all that, we have other problems in this generation. One, the world became 100% material. Very materialistic. In all generations, everybody knew a Jew is running away from material. A non-Jew, he cannot live without material. There was two categories. Today it's not the case anymore. Today it's very rare to find Jews in this generation that really don't care about this world. Don't care about their house, don't care about what car they're driving, don't care about the quality of their clothes. Every kid, you go to yeshiva today, you want to cry. The kids coming to check each other's tie. Where is this tie from? Oh, you can be our friend. Your tie is not $50 and up. Stay away from this kid. That's the situation we got to. Worse than the goyim. You understand? We became worse than them, much worse. Even they are not like this. Even in high quality places of the goyim, when they're very wealthy, they're not doing things like this, checking each other's suit. Oh, what, this suit? Where you got this suit from? Okay. Oh, what kind of Game Boy you have? Oh, it's old fashioned. It's from last year. We have the top of the line one. Just came out a week ago. You understand what's going on here? Kids, if their parents are not billionaires, they're embarrassed to show them in school. Well, you're going to come with your car, my kid's going to see, they all have cars, they go to vacations every week. That's the situation we are in. Now you wonder why 30 years ago, almost every kid that went to yeshiva, after a few years of learning Torah, became a real serious Talmid Chacham. You ask him questions, he knows he can give you speeches from now until the end of the week, non-stop. Today, you take a guy from yeshiva, other than the nice outfit that he has and the $500 hat, you tell him in Shabbos table, tell us a Dvar Torah, cannot say 1 minute. He can say 1 minute, it's already an achievement. Wow, he say 1 minute Dvar Torah. What do you mean? You are months in yeshiva, you cannot say Dvar Torah? Today, if you want your children to learn Torah, you have to beg them, you have to bribe them with candy and money that they're willing to open the book for 1 hour a week. What an achievement. I'm learning all day in yeshiva. Yes, sure. They go to yeshiva for one reason, recess. That's all. They go to yeshiva for recess, for baseball, for basketball, for playing, I don't know, all kinds of games that they have in yeshiva. And then we wonder why the rabbis in this generation, the top Gdolei Ador, are slowly disappearing, the old generation. And the young generation have no replacement. The young generation of these days do not have rabbis like the Rabbi Ovadia Yosef. When he was in 6th grade, he was already a rabbi like the rabbi of the top schools in the world today. When he was a kid, you can ask him any question in the Torah. He knew exactly what to speak about. This page, that page, this page, everything. Today, they know all the baseball players from the beginning of the history of the league until today. They tell you each black or white or Irish or Italian, from what generation, how much his cards are worth. Oh, you can sell this card, $30, $40. You ask him about the rabbis to open Rashi, Gemara, Mishnah, nothing. That's another problem that we're facing right now. Very serious problem. On top of that, finally, when we have Baalei Tshuva, they come an hour a day, they do their best. Why? Life is very difficult. Because we put ourselves in such high standard, our life is so expensive, we gotta work. You have to get a lot of money to pay for all your desires. You have this house, and you have your vacation house, and this car, and the van, and the other car, and that, and this membership, and that vacation, and trip to Israel every 2 months. So what happened? You got to work. You have to work, you don't see your wife. You don't see your wife, you don't see your children. You finally come home, you have to work. You don't have time to learn. One day your son comes and opens the Gemara. Abba, what Rashi says here? You don't even know how to read Rashi. You don't know how to read Rashi. You make excuses. Oh, I'm busy now. One kid was coming, dying to get attention from his father. Dying. Every time he comes, I'm busy, I'm on a phone, one phone, another phone, fax, email, non-stop. Not only all days like this in the office. He come home 8 o'clock, 8:30. Another 2 hours he sits on his office, and that's their life. So what happened? After half an hour that the kid was trying to show him his test, that he got 100 on the test, he went across the street to the neighbor and called him. The father picks up the phone. Hey, who are you? It's your son. Where are you calling me from? I went across the street to call you. Why you went to the neighbor to call me? I realized the only way to talk to you is on the phone. You understand? This is actual things from these days. And that's the situation now. Because the situation is like this, I want to prepare everybody. It's recorded. You're going to see me in a year to see if I was right or wrong. I want to prepare everyone. All the people that giving and sacrifice their life just to make money, non-stop saving, investing, buying, doing, everything will go to the garbage. None of us will be able to keep a penny from it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will educate us so good. The more you save, the more pain you're going to have. You think I'm crazy. I'll prove to you that I'm not. If you know what's going on in America, on the economy here, just today, the biggest investor in the world, perhaps, his name is George Soros. There are a few great investors like Bill Gates, and you have Warren Buffett. One of the top in the world, George Soros. Everybody knows he's a top legendary investor. He said today on the news what I've been saying already for a year. He said, we are in the most difficult crisis in the history of the world. And he's not even exaggerating. We are now in the worst economical crisis in the history of the United States, perhaps in the entire world. Never in a history there was such a danger that an empire like United States any second can go completely bankrupt. For those who knows a little bit economy, just Friday afternoon, United States was 5 minutes before a complete crash that people will kill each other on the street in a month. 5 minutes. If the government would not go on the news and say that they taking control, everything here will collapse here. Probably wouldn't have a lecture here. The two major banks that support all the mortgages in America were moments before go to zero. Zero. Their stocks went in the last few weeks from 70, 60, 50, 40, 20 to $3. Another 10 minutes it will go to zero. If it will go to zero, that's it. They go on the news, we are bankrupt. We cannot support the banks. Citibank will go bankrupt. Wachovia will go bankrupt. Now what happens if all the banks go bankrupt? If you didn't realize. Tomorrow you come to your bank, you saved $1 million after 30 years of hard work. You want to get money from the bank, there's no money. The government take over the bank. They only insured each person up to $100,000. Right away, any dollar that you have more than that, you lost. So if you work 30 years and you save millions of dollars, like many Jews here in this country, everything in a second become a mud, nothing. And they don't give you the $100,000 right away. You're going to wait years. By the time they'll give it to you, it will be worthless. Plus, if you want to run to Israel, the banks in Israel depend on the banks here. If Citibank go bankrupt, Israel go bankrupt also, because they all invest in the banks here. So there's nowhere to run. You want to take your money and hide it in Europe, they're also going to go bankrupt. Because America, it's the heart of the world. If America goes down, everything goes down. When everything goes down, what happened? There's a big war. Everybody fights. That's it. People fight for their life. And that's why we are moments. I'm telling you, it could be tomorrow, it could be a week from now. If we're not going to wake up now, us as individuals, I'm not talking us as a nation. Who am I to start talking to an entire nation now? Who's going to hear? But those people that came to this shul today, you have to know. Today you eat, tomorrow maybe you have a vacation plan, maybe next week it's not going to be America. You're going to want to get money, you're not going to have. Many people don't know that in Germany, the Jews started to see that their situation become worse and worse over a period of months. First, now they cannot go and sit on a bench. No Jews allowed. Next thing, they have to wear a special Magen David. The next thing, they're not allowed into parks. They're not allowed into theaters. They're not allowed in certain places. Then they cannot get a job. You cannot be a lawyer anymore in court. Cannot be a doctor. And then one day they don't have rights to have more than X amount of money. They cannot take more than X amount of money. And then one night they went and burned all the synagogues, all the Jewish houses, the kosher restaurant, everything. Overnight, Leil Abdullah it's called. And what happened? A Jew that had $1 billion in his banks, the next morning he did not have what to eat. He started to eat peels of potatoes. Yesterday he was a billionaire. He had messengers that bow down to him when he come home. The next morning he cannot get anything. He had a little cash in his house. Maybe he can survive a week or two, and it's all over. On top of it, the president that is about to be elected is not exactly a Jew lover. From everywhere we look at that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is tiding the situation on us real good. Like the Gemara says. En lanu al mi lismoch, Hashem will bring each one of us very shortly to a situation that we're going to be on our knees, begging, Hashem save us. And Hashem said, finally you realize, nobody can help you but me. And that's going to be the situation. As the prophet says, your houses will not save you. Your gold will not save you. Your money will not save you. Nothing can save us. Speaking to the autistic kids in Israel, they just came up with a new book. 8 years ago, I went to speak to an autist in Brooklyn, 12 years old. Now he's 20 years old. If he's alive, I don't know. There was just moments before the Intifada with the Arabs started, the second one. He started to describe me the Intifada in details. The sky is full of smoke. We're going to a very serious time. I'm crying for what the Jews in Israel have to go through. And then the Intifada started. Buses, explosion, 8 years ago, if you remember, in Jerusalem, every day, again and again and again and again. That was the situation then. But that's nothing compared to what we are heading to right now. People have dreams. I'm going to go college, 6 years, 7 years. I'll invest here, retirement, pension. I doubt that if we're going to be able to get to that. We have to realize what the situation is. There's some of the big rabbis in the world that had dreams of big tzaddikim. I'm sure you heard about these things. That we are moments before the revolution will begin. The prophecy says that before Mashiach comes, will be a disaster, a war called Gog uMagog. No wars in history come anywhere near that war. The Vilna Gaon 250 years ago, he wrote, the last war will be 9 minutes. It gives us an idea what we're talking here about. Because remember, in his generation, you didn't even have guns like today. If you wanted to shoot a bullet, you have to put powder, shoot a bullet, clean it, put powder. Every 10 minutes you can shoot a bullet. With rifles like this, you cannot destroy the world in 9 minutes. But there was a clear prophecy that we are heading to a serious time. It's called Gog uMagog. So the people here that sits in this place, that they are dying for the dollar, they thinking financial, they thinking material. Remember my words, it's a waste of time. Everybody has to focus right away 100% from now on, from this moment on, only on spirituality. The rest is really not important. It's just going to be 100% pure waste. Pure waste. And the Gemara says, what can we do to get safe from Gog uMagog? Only 2 things. What? Who knows? What are the 2 keys to get saved out of the mess? Torah and Gmilut Chasadim. Torah and kindness. Torah and kindness. Kindness, how you can be kind to people if almost everybody is 100% egoistic? Everybody loves himself, only himself. Do for me, you owe me, he owe me, she owes me, everybody owes me. How can you do for others when you think you're the center of the world? That's a problem. We got to work on that. Each one of us has it. Laziness, pride, jealousy, anger. We live in a lie. We say for the bad things that they're good, for the good things that they're bad. Right? If the boys that we have today, when you show them Mishnah and Gemara and Torah, it's like you gave them poison. No, not again, no. It's not fair, I just learned. Like you brought a knife to kill them. Then you come and say, come, let's play, what's the name of this game? No. No, that they buy real estate, no? Monopoly, 4 hours to wait, wow! I won my life. Monopoly, let's play Monopoly, 4 hours, 5 hours, wow, beautiful. Baseball, let's go to the baseball. Let's sit in a baseball game with all the goyim over there drinking beer, smoking drugs, cursing every 5 seconds. Let's sit with them. Such a chilul Hashem, moshav letzim, sit over there. And you know what? Don't worry, we'll put a baseball cap. Nobody will know we Jews. We'll put the tzitzit in, we pretend we're enjoying the show. Where are we gonna hide? Before I really start to talk about what I came for, I just want to remind you one thing. The punishment in the world to come, it's embarrassment. That's the main punishment. Before we're going into the physical problem, I'm not even going to mention it. Embarrassment, it's the base of the entire suffering that a person has to go through. When we come to Olam Haba, the embarrassment is going to kill each one of us. Why? Everything you do every day, there's nowhere to hide it. You're not going to be able to hide it. I like to say this story because it's so important to know it. Sometimes we want to make a scene, a goy passed by, we cannot do it, we embarrass. Vinny just looked at me, how can I make a scene? Tony just looked at me face to face, how you doing? You know what? I'll give it up. Tomorrow I'll try. A sin, yeah. Violation against the Torah. Tomorrow he came to make the same sin. A little 2-year-old baby standing watching. Go to mommy. Go take a candy. The kid doesn't want to move the baby. You look at him, you say, how can I do it in front of him? Such a pure 2 eyes. All right, I'll come back tomorrow. Then the next day he comes back. See a dog, little black ugly dog, looks at him with 2 eyes like this. Go. The dog is angry. Don't push me. You know. Then in the end, he's embarrassed from the dog. After 120 years of illusions here, he comes in front of Hashem. Hashem says, dear Jew, now it's time to see your life movie. Let's go. He shows him this moment. And then he's going to hear a scream from a dog. You embarrassed, and for me you don't care. You're never embarrassed for me once in your life, but from a dog you embarrassed. I'm worse than a dog. Where are you going to hide? Where are we going to hide? Just try to imagine this. It's for sure will happen. No, maybe yes, maybe not. All the Gemara, all the Zohar, all the Ari, every holy book in the last 3,300 books speaking about this concept of embarrassment from Yom Adin. There's no way to run. There's one Yemenite guy, he died in his bed. 10 minutes later he came back to life. And his first word was, what an embarrassment. The embarrassment is killing. I didn't know where to hide myself. I was begging, like maybe there's a table to go underneath. Where to hide? There's nowhere to hide. Everything is displayed right in front of you and everybody see over there. What are you going to say over there? Telling them stories. The car broke down. I was late. I didn't make it. You know, my mother-in-law, she makes panels for business. She invite people and they go to a special place in Manhattan. They have interviews and the company give them some money and lunch. They ask them questions. So one time she sent two blacks, brother and sister, to a panel. She gets money and they get money from the company. That's how it works. She recruits them. So the next day the company called and say only this guy showed up. The other one didn't show up. So she called him. She said, why you didn't come? He said, my grandmother died. So how your sister was there, you fool? Over here you can still get away with the lies. Over there, nowhere to hide. Let's go back to the subject that I came here for, and I'm sure you all came to hear that, I just wanted to say my warning, because the Torah obligates everyone who have access to Jews, even to singles, especially to many, to say the warnings for the people, that never the people will not say, hey, why the rabbi never told me? Why the rabbi never warned us? If I knew, at least I would put some money aside for time of emergency. I say what I had to say. Hopefully it won't be that bad. Hopefully I'm wrong. I'm almost sure that I'm not. Just follow the news and you see what's going on here. So that's one thing. What's the main reason for crisis in our marriages? Why this new generation that getting married today, almost everybody ended up getting divorced? And what do you think? The 30% that don't get divorced, they're happily married? You're dreaming. Either they don't get divorced because they're embarrassed from their parents, or from their children, or that it's too much money involved. Doesn't pay to get divorced. She's going to take $10 million. I'm not going to give it to her. I'll keep her married. What can I do? I'll suffer the rest of my life as long as I don't lose this $10 million. So each one of them have his own life. That's the situation here today. On the papers, they're happily married. Happily married. In reality, what's going on? Plus, sometimes people afraid of their stigma. They're going to come to places they divorce. They ask them, know what's going on. They cannot handle the pressure of coming to the world and say, hey, I'm lonely. I'm a mother to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 children, and we don't have a father in the house. There are many things that prevent people from getting divorced, but that doesn't mean they're really happy in their marriage. You understand? Thank you. So the situation is very, very severe. Now, in the non-religious world, this is the statistic. In the religious world, until about 15, 20 years ago, it was almost impossible to hear about divorce. Once Rabbi Aderet told me that when he was a kid, so we're talking about approximately 50 years ago, let's say, he asked his father, for the first time in his life, he heard the word divorce. Nobody knew what it is. The kids? Nobody knew what divorce is. He heard somebody say the word divorce, gerushin. He asked his father, what's divorce? What is it, divorce? I heard this word. His father almost fainted. What? Pah! Slapped him. Who told you this word? That's only one generation ago. To say the word divorce was like to say the worst nightmare. Today, divorce. We all divorce here. This kid is lucky. He's the only one in the class that his parents are still together. Come next year, we'll see. That's today's situation. When I was a kid, we're talking, let's see what happened to us in one generation. Now you understand why our marriages look so shaky. When I was a kid in 8th grade, there was one kid, and I'm not talking to you yeshiva in Borough Park or in Bnei Brak, just a school in Israel. One kid in 8th grade started to smoke cigarette. The entire city of Bat Yam, which is full of criminals today, the entire city of Bat Yam were shocked. Everybody pointed at this guy on the street. This guy, stay away from him. Be careful not to talk to him. When you see him, you run to the other side of the school. The teachers, as soon as they saw him, everybody disappeared. Why? 8th grade smoking a cigarette. Today you have metal detector in every school. They check you like you go in the airport. Soon take your shoes. I only came to have a test. Come on, take your shoes, take your belt, take this, take that, just to come to the school. Why? You're a danger. You may kill me. I don't want to teach you. Every one of you is a bomb. It's a danger. You explode in my face. And that's getting worse by the minute. Where are we going to send our children to learn? Soon they're going to make clothing and belt without metal. They cannot go to school. This is the situation today. One kid smokes cigarette, criminal all over the city. Look, be careful from him. Only one generation ago. Look at today. Today what's going on. Today you want to send your kids to play with someone. I'm not talking public school. Public school is a disaster. what's going on over there. Not even talking about this. This everybody understands. Even the public school admit we fail completely in our education. They're not even denying it anymore. We surrender. Look what they read, what they write in the newspapers, what they say on the news. I'm talking yeshiva now. Today you are in the best yeshiva. You want to send your son to go play with somebody 5 blocks away. You have to hire a private detective before you send your son over there. What do you know what they have? What do you know? The father maybe keeps his internet on the desk. The kids have a way. They go, they do bad things in the house. They have, who knows what they have in the house? How do you know how kosher it is? How do you know the language they use in a place? How do you know what the kid's going to tell your son? You invested 20 years of your life like crazy to keep your children from the environment. 1 or 2 visits to this kid with payos and beard. The kid has very long beard. And your son is finished. Go and try to save him now from what he saw. That doesn't make sense. You go to schools today, children, 10 years old, take hundreds of dollars out of their pocket, like it's toilet paper. Kids go with $800 in his pocket to school. Why? His father has $5 billion, so he gives his son every day $1,000 to go spend in a canteen. Not thinking 300 kids will go out of the right way because they see these things. How can your son go to school when he wanted to buy a sandwich and you cannot afford it, but this guy spending hundreds of dollars on nonsense every day? They just don't know what to do with the money. One day your son comes home. What do you have the money from? This guy gave me. God, take 100, take 50. This is what's happening today. Now this boy, think about it. In 10 years from now, he's going to have to get married. What is the chances that this boy will be able to be a good husband and to maintain a good kosher home? What did he do once in his life? Did he achieve anything in his life? Did he ever have a challenge? Everything he had in his life, his parents did for him. What did he do? Tomorrow he has a serious problem with his wife. A week after the marriage, he doesn't know what to do. Nobody ever trained him. That's the situation. So what do we do? No. What's the solution? The solution is we got to start with ourselves. Before we talk about the children, we first have to work on ourselves. If you want your marriage to be healthy and successful, the only way to do it is to learn every day as much as you can musar. Against the pride, until you get rid of your pride. Against anger. Anger, number 1 reason for all the problems in the house. Every little thing, it's a fight. Why the table is like this? Why the toys is not in a closet? Why you don't wash the floor before I come home? Why the food is cold? How many times I told you? Why they're still not in bed? Why? As soon as he comes home, the wife already going to alert. Maybe it's the last night of her life. People have temper. Everything is temper, argument. One guy comes to me and say, I have a feeling that my wife, that's it. She found herself a new husband. So I told him, what makes you think so? He said, listen, my wife she's not interested in me anymore. She's avoiding me no matter how many times I try to come close to her. She's avoiding me non-stop. That's it. I said, so what did you do about it? He said, I checked the computer, no evidence. The cell phone, no evidence. The bills, no evidence. I follow her, no evidence. So, I don't know, it drives me crazy. What's going on here? I told him, no. Your wife really didn't do any of the things you think. I want to ask you one question. Yeah. Did you tell your wife recently that she gained weight? He says, she gained 15 pounds. What do you want? If I don't tell her anything, she's going to gain 50 pounds soon. It's going to be too late. I said, that's it. You ruined your marriage. What? From this, you ruined your marriage? Sure. Why? The psychology of the woman is, and all the ladies soon going to say, hey, he's right. The psychology of the women are, you give her one bad comment, it takes a second. To clean that from her brain may take 20 years. That's it, she lost her confidence. Now she's hiding, she goes with a blanket in the house all day, excuses, she goes like this, all kinds of things now. He doesn't understand what's going on here. She's not interested to talk to him. She's avoiding him. I have headache. Why? She lost her confidence. Give her one bad comment about her look, you finished her. You're not as pretty as you used to be. You're not exactly like when I met you 10 years ago. Finished. Go to my mother, learn how to cook. A knife in the heart. Dead sentence. Better you hang her in Fifth Avenue in a window of Macy's than tell her this. Comparing me to your mother? Go to your mother to it. One of the things the Gemara says before Mashiach comes, it's going to be perfect harmony between the wives and their mother-in-law. Exactly the opposite. Problem in every house. Your mother comes here for Leila Seder, I'm not going to be home. Find somebody else to do Leila Seder. No. So what do you want? Let's go to my parents, to my parents, to my parents. Every house that have a problem, main problem, the parents-in-law. One time I get a phone call. A guy is desperate on the phone. That's it. Tomorrow morning we go to Beis Din. I told them to prepare the get. I'm coming to sign the papers. I get divorced. How long they married? A year and a half. Nice couple, gentle people, nice looking, good manners. Why? Why like this? The house is breaking. What's the problem? Her parents destroyed my marriage. From the moment we got married, they live in my living room, they check the closet, they brainwash her against me non-stop. I said, what do you mean? He said, I'll give you an example. Her car broke down. You know, I'm busy. I didn't have time the first day to take the car to fix. So it's 3 days in the driveway. For 3 days, they constantly tell her, you see, he doesn't care about you. As far as he's concerned, you could die home. He doesn't care you don't have a car. He has his car. He's not worried about it. It's very genius parents. All they do is try to break their marriage. After they married already, do like this. Or they come to the house, they open the closet. You see what a stingy husband you have? Look, nothing. No tuna, no sauce, no this, no that. This is what the guy is telling me. Come to our house. Leave him. Come for Shabbat. Come be by us. I say, okay, don't go to the Beis Din. I'm on my way. I came there, we sat for 2 hours. Everything changed from that moment on. They, Baruch Hashem, for few years happily married. Only few adjustments, the problem is over. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu helped us. He sent the parents away. out of town. Baruch Hashem, then everything was, the operation was successful. But for such stupid things, right away, divorce, right away. What do you mean? First argument after 1 year, divorce. That's the situation today. Every little thing, divorce right away, divorce. Today, we have another problem. When couple comes to Torah lecture, one wants to become religious, Shomer Shabbos, the other doesn't. Sometimes it's the wife that wants, sometimes it's the husband that wants. So what happened after 2-3 months? They cannot stand each other because he's finally religious, this guy. He has a little beard, he puts tefillin, he goes to shul, he comes a little bit late. She doesn't want, I didn't marry you for this. That's on top of all the problems. This is another situation here. And sometimes the husband don't know exactly how to handle the situation. They don't have patience, or the other way around, and they push the other side to leave the house. With some intelligence and being clever, almost every marriage can be successful. Almost every marriage. Sometimes the marriage was a mistake to begin with. It's mamash not shayach. Right away, every fool see right away, this marriage has no chance to succeed. But still you have to try. Only after 2 years of hard efforts to save the marriage, if you see it doesn't work, no. As one of the 613 mitzvot in the Torah is to get divorced. A person gives a get to his wife, he just made a mitzvah from the Torah. V'natan laget, kritut. What can you do? Not always is a perfect shidduch. There's all kinds of reasons for that. Maybe 10 years they married, they don't have children. A man has a mitzvah in this life to have children. It didn't work out, try somewhere else. Not that they have to, but after 10 years, if it didn't work out and he wants to have children, no, so once he wants to divorce her. Some people, they don't care. I'll die without children, that's it. I love my wife, no problem. I'm just giving an example. There are reasons in life that sometimes husbands and wives have to get divorced. That's it. You cannot prevent it. But even to get divorced, you need to know how to do it. Why? Because later on you have to see each other every week. You have children, you have to raise them, you have to stand in the chuppah. There's so many things to do later on together. You don't want to get divorced and have an enemy on the other side. Why? Because the outcome is going to be you want to visit your children, she doesn't let. Her father-in-law took control on your children. You have to beg him to see your children. You don't know what's going on today in husbands and wives that broke apart. What? War after the divorce. Why? Because they didn't know how to get divorced. Even to get divorced, you have to be very clever. If you give the other side reasons to hate you, you're going to pay the price sooner or later. There's no win situation. No win situation. What's the main problems for our problems in a house? Let's count. First, temper, anger. Cannot control our anger. Frustration from work, from the street, from the business, from, I don't know. You take it all, you bring it to the house and you take it all out on your family, on your kids, on your wife. That's problem number one. Problem number two is pride. Almost every person has this problem. Sometimes you see people that are very humble. Most people have a lot of pride. When two proud people live together in one house, it's an atomic war. Why? They always argue who's going to say the last word. She wants to say something, he says something, she says something, he says something. What's the solution for that? What's the solution? When two proud people live in the same house, they have a mental disease, each one of them. Pride is a mental disease. You're laughing, but it's a serious mental disease. The life of a person gets ruined completely every minute of their life because of his bad personality. Most people, they are mentally sick. They're either jealous, they're looking for pride, honor, that everybody respect them. Everybody who disrespected them a little bit, they go to a wedding. They put him in a corner to sit with his back to the band. That's it. 20 years he doesn't speak to his brother now. 20 years of Lashon Hara. Everybody in the whole world know that his brother, it's not him, it's his wife. Because of her, she put us to sit over here. For 20 years the kids don't talk together. Why? A mentally ill person, they put him in a wrong chair. Wow, look what happened now. You know the story, Rav Shvadron was one of the greatest darshanim, the greatest speakers in Yerushalayim, in Israel, in the previous generation. So one time he said a story. He said that one guy had a coin. Did you hear that story? An ancient gold coin that worth fortune. No coin like this you can't get anywhere. This coin was enough, if he sells it, to support himself all his life, him and his wife, the children, get them married, and he still have change. That's how expensive this coin was. So perhaps in today's world, probably $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, a coin that worth a lot of money. One time the husband and wife decided to go on vacation. What's the price when you leave the children and go on vacation? They come back after a week. What did they find? That the coin disappeared from the closet. They asked the kids, what did you do with the coin? How did you get to the coin? We went to buy candies. Where? In a grocery. Candy with a coin? And he took it? Yeah. He runs to the grocery store, to the guy. My son came here 4 days ago. He bought candies from you with this gold coin. So what are you talking about? Your son gave me 10 shekel, and the price was 10.5 shekel. I gave him a discount, half a shekel. You liar! Don't tell me stories. I know my son is not going to lie. He gave you a coin. What do you mean coin? Why are you blaming me? It's not me. No, you liar. You're a thief. I'm going to say everywhere that you're a thief. Give me back the coin. It's important for me. What coin? They argue. Everybody comes. Now people see. This guy is a thief. This guy is a tzaddik. He's not going to blame him for the coin for no reason. He probably stole the coin from him. Everybody in Yerushalayim speaking about this grocery man that is a thief. A month after, nobody comes to his store. So he goes bankrupt. He has 15 children hungry for bread. Why? Everybody knows this guy is a thief. He has to leave town and move to a place that nobody knows him. Because over here he's finished. No shidduchim for the children. Nobody wants to deal with him. He got to move on with his life. This guy. Then, 15 years later, that's a true story, what I'm saying. 15 years later, somebody come to this guy, the father of the kids, the owner of the coin, knock on his door. 15 years later, I came to make a mitzvah of Hashavat Aveidah, return a lost object to its owner, as the Torah orders us. Here is your coin. Who are you? How did you get this coin? 15 years ago, I was walking in the street. I saw 5 kids walking in the street on the way to the grocery. I asked them, what do you do here with such a coin in your hand? They said, we're going to buy candies. With this coin, antique coin, you're going to buy candies? Why don't you give me the coin, I'll give you the money. How much you need for the candy? They said 10 shekel. I gave them 10 shekel and I took the coin from them. What did I do with this coin? I mortgaged it to an antique dealer, to a bank. They gave me a lot of money. I opened up a business. I married, Baruch Hashem, all my children, everybody. Finally, I don't have any more expenses. I don't need this coin anymore. I paid back the bank. He gave me back the coin yesterday. I come to give you back the coin. I look for you all over. The guy is holding his head. What did you do to me? Wow. What happened from this story now? The owner of the grocery store goes directly to heaven. It's the best thing could have happened to him. Why? He got 15 years of suffering and is innocent. You know what the reward you get for that? There's no end to his reward. Shom'im cherpatam enam meshir. There's a list in the Gemara of people that are innocent and they get isurim. So he goes express to heaven. The owner of the coin, it's not really his fault. What? His son told him he gave the coin to the grocery store. So he went to ask for it. So he's innocent. The person that took the coin made tshuva. He returns the coin. The Torah says the thief have to return it. So now he made tshuva. So he's also innocent. And who lost their olam haba? All the people of Jerusalem that non-stop talked. Non-stop. 15 years they talk. You understand? That's us. You heard about this, you heard about this, you heard about this, you heard about this. Your brother, his wife, the neighbor, go fight with the neighbor, he's disrespecting our son. Tell him what's going on here in the neighborhood. Non-stop. So it has to be, the problem starts right there in the house. You have to educate yourself. That's why I said we need a college. First we have to learn how to become human being. How to have mercy, how to be polite, how to calm down, how not to judge and suspect everybody that we see, how to be honest, and the most important thing, how to have faith in Hashem, emunah, faith. Most of the problems that we have in life, because we don't even have 1% of faith in God, not even 1%. If we would have 1% faith, we'll be in a very high level. We don't even have this. We don't have. We don't trust Hashem in anything. We only trust ourselves. When you go to work, you are 100% sure that you go and you make your money. I work 3 hours, I make X amount of money. I work 6, I make double. That's the way you look at that. I sold this merchandise, I sell it for double. Thanks to my talent and my knowledge and my connection, I made X amount of money every month. That's the mind of a person, when in reality it's all nonsense. You don't make anything. In Rosh Hashanah, Hashem already wrote you a check. That's it. Now He's giving it to you as He wish. This month He gives you 5,000. Next month only 1,000. The next month 20,000. Hashem plays with you according to the timing as He wish. And everything else, it's all illusion. We did, we ran, we're fighting, going to court, arguing, stealing, cursing. It's all waste of time. If you had trust in Hashem, if we had trust in Hashem, we will go through what we go through every day.
Why can't they working? Everything is fixed. Why can't they working?
You're right. I know hundreds of righteous people that I met in my life. They don't waste even an hour a month of worry about money and going to work. And they're all surviving. Some of them are not rich. Some of them are very rich. Very rich. Depend. Yeah, I can give you hundreds of stories about Ashgacha, about people who did nothing in their life and they made so much money, and people who work like slaves all their life, and in the end left with nothing. It was almost never enough for them. Yes? Ishtadlut, he asked, what about our efforts? The Torah orders us to try, to do something. The Torah never told you that Ishtadlut has to be all your life, like most people today, from morning to midnight. That's not what the Torah said. The Torah says, Avarchecha bechol mishlach yadecha. I'm going to bless you in everything you do. From here we learn that we have to do. But how long we have to do? An hour a day. And a generation ago, people used to fix shoes, tailors, they used to make suits. How was the working day in the market, you know? Every righteous Jew in the market, you come to him 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock, he closed the gate, and he goes to the yeshiva. He comes to Rabbi Nisirov, Baruch Hashem, he knows here until 1, there's learning, Baruch Hashem, today I made my business, 10 o'clock I made my day, I have 3 hours to learn. The Rambam 800 years ago, writes in his book, Bale Batim, owner of a business, a farmer, a butcher, a shepherd, what's Bale Bait? Someone who goes to work every day, was learning minimum 9 hours a day. That's the obligation. Find me one Bale Bait today that learn 9 hours a day.
We live in inflation now.
Huh?
We live in inflation now.
That's one of the signs before Mashiach. So, first rule in a house, you want your marriage to be successful, you have to correct your personality. It's impossible to have rotten personality, terrible traits, and to expect that your marriage will be successful. It's impossible. If you're egoistic, how are you going to have 20 wonderful years with your wife? You only care about yourself. So one thing, you have to share, you have to help, you have to comfort, you have to participate, you have to understand the other side. You have to close your eyes when you don't make comments every second. Keep your comments only when it's really urgent. These things people don't learn. Don't make bad comments about your wife's look ever in your life. Don't ever make comments about her food. The food always delicious, always. Never once. Sometimes we forget, so we say, today it's not as good as always. The idea is to give compliments non-stop. The more compliments you give the other side, the more your marriage will be successful. Now you may say, but come on, the Torah says, midvar sheker tirchak. The Torah says, don't be a liar. What do you mind? All day I'm going to stand next to my wife and lie. Your food is great, your dish is great, the house is clean. All day I'm going to lie. It's mitzvah from the Torah. The more you lie, the better it is. When it comes to this, mitzvah from the Torah. It's so important that Hashem himself changed his words when it came, you know the story with Abraham and Sarah. Sarah said that Abraham is old. My husband is already one leg in Olam Haba. You're telling me he's going to give me a boy? Come on. Sarah, she started to laugh. So Hashem came to Abraham. If it would be us, we would run to Abraham. Abraham, look at this wife you took. The angel comes and say, you're going to have next year a boy. And she say, you're an old man, you can hardly move. Look at this. Hashem didn't say this. Hashem went to Abraham and said, why Sarah say that she's old? She didn't say she's old. She said he's old. Oh, from here we learn this is a very important proof from the Torah that between husband and wife, you don't say the truth. What did my wife tell you about me? That you're such a generous husband. What did really she say? What a stingy husband I have. I'm afraid to spend $1. What did she say? That recently you've been very kind to her. You give a lot of money. He's going to feel embarrassed because he knows it's not true. Just the fact that my wife said such a thing. This was the way Aaron HaKohen was. Aaron, his title is Rodef Shalom. There is somebody who loves Shalom, that's Aaron, and he has a better skill. Rodef Shalom. Everybody naturally loves Shalom. Who wants war? Let me sit in my corner, be peaceful life. Why do I need to go into wars, fights? Everybody get hurt in a war. Aaron was in a different level. He's running after the peace. What does it mean running after the peace? Two people are fighting. I'm ending it today. Comes to the first one. Reuven told me he's so depressed since you don't talk to him. You were his best friend. He loved you. He cannot believe what you went into an argument for. He goes, he tells the same thing to the other guy. Now they feel terrible. Wow, we hate each other for no reason. The guy really loved me. Why? I was just about to kill him tomorrow. And he loves me. The next day he invites them to his house. He makes a party. So you come to the house. They just told you that the owner of the house, you are his best friend. And he loves you. So you come, you shake his hand. How are you? Sorry, I missed you. Sorry for what happened. A week later you find out that Aaron lied to you, tricked you. It's too late. You already became friends. What, you're going to go back and fight again? That's it. The peace is done. You understand? That's how you have to be in a house. In a house, you cannot be right. You have to be smart. If you're going to be right, you're going to always be right, but you'll be divorced. So it's better to be wrong, but to be married. So, you're right. Everything you tell your wife, you're right. You're right, no problem, 100%. Yes, I say that. No. Now, what does she have to say to her husband? You have to know, one of the problems today is in this generation that husbands get the feeling that my wife only needs me for one thing, for my wallet. Just give me money, did you order me a credit card? Did you buy me this? I want to change my wig. This suit is old-fashioned already. What do you mean? We just bought it on Tuesday. Yeah, from Tuesday until now, it's old-fashioned. There's a new wedding coming. Is this the life? Is this what life is all about? There's one woman, my wife was telling me as on my way out today, I got to check this tomorrow. There's a woman, an Ashkenazi Litvak woman with a nice wig, living in Monsey, in the center of Monsey. She died, clinical death, and came back to life. She died and returned to life. And she had a trial. She's now making noise all over Monsey. Just yesterday, she gave like a speech about what happened to her. And she said, if there's one thing, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is upset at us, the religious people, and those who are not religious is needless to say. The religious people is the modesty, no modesty. The ladies have no modesty whatsoever, nothing. No lady in the Jewish world today, especially from the Baalot Tshuva, never learned the laws of modesty seriously even once in their life. I know hundreds of girls, Baruch Hashem, that came to the lectures in the last few years, and a lot of them became Shomer Shabbos, and then a month later you see they come with a skirt, but they really never made it to the red line. They never made it. They went from 0 to 40, from 0 to 50. They never even crossed the minimum level of tzniut. For years. 10 years later, you see her, a mother on the street, you cannot look at her. She thinks she's a Rebbitzin. In reality, she never dressed one day in her life modestly. And I'm not only talking about these wigs that go all the way down with blonde and all kinds of curls and lines and a flower here, that every Vinnie and Tony on the street makes accidents because of her. I'm not talking about this. This is a disaster. I'm talking the clothing, the tight clothing, the V, the flowers, the riding on the clothing, all kinds of things that it's not modest. It's against the halakha. A girl thinks, but I'm wearing a skirt. But your skirt, this particular skirt, is worse than a pants. It's worse than a pants. What do you mean? Everybody say I have to wear a skirt. Yeah, but nobody said that you have to wear a skirt, that if you want to get up, you cannot walk. Yeah? How many hours you invested in front of the mirror to make sure that this skirt will be tighter than a pants? No? So what, you cheat Hashem? You can cheat yourself, you cannot cheat Hashem. One time I had a girl, I told her, I want to ask you a question. Why you put so much makeup on your face? What, it's Purim today? What do you mean? I want to feel good, she said. I said, who do you want to feel good? For the guys on the street? You're a married woman. Why you do everything you can before you leave the house when you go to the supermarket? That Jose and what's the other guy's name? Huh? Jose, Carlos, Amigo, Santana, whatever their names is. They all walk in the supermarket. They stand like soldiers. She comes to the register. Which Jose she's gonna go to? Tony, Vinny, Johnny, they all. Oh, the Rebbitzin arrived. Before she leaves the house to go to buy milk and bread, 15 minutes, she puts a show. She comes to the supermarket, she buys the thing, all the amigos look at her. Baruch Hashem, she made a fashion show to Tony and Vinny. Wow, what an achievement. Then she comes home, she takes everything back, clean it to her husband, like this. The Torah says it should be the other way around. You have to do a fashion show to your husband as soon as he walk home. Oh, wow, beautiful. What is this? We're going to a wedding tonight? I forgot. No, it's for you. It never happens. She comes home, she wears a potato sack. This, that. Like this. That's it. Why? When will I see once in my life the young, beautiful lady that I met 10 years ago? Never happened. But in a wedding, Baruch Hashem, everybody is top of the line. What for? For the people to enjoy her. So this girl told me, I'm not doing it for anybody. Believe me, I only do it for myself. I want to feel good with myself. So I asked her, I want to ask you just one question, but be honest. Be honest. Let's describe a scenario that you are on a plane and the plane crashed in the island and you're the only survivor. Everybody died and you survive. And you have your makeup with you, of course. And now you come out, you walk around in an island. You see the tiger, the lions, the chimpanzees, the monkeys, the elephant. No people on the island. No people on the island. You search very carefully. Nobody is there in the island. And then, after you saw that there's no people, the next day you wake up, you're about to go to the hair dryer and to all the makeup and to your sprays and everything you have over there. And then you're thinking to yourself, what am I going to waste half an hour now? For what? There's nobody here to see. Would you put your makeup like you every day put? Spray, doing your hair, it didn't work out, wash it again, try again. Oof, it doesn't work. Where is the next belt? Would you do it for the monkeys over there in the island? Be honest. So she thought for a second. She said, no, of course not. So you see, you're lying. You're just lying. You just lied. You just say you do it to feel good with yourself. You want to feel good with yourself? Even if you be in a closed jail somewhere, nobody sees you, you'll put it every day. Why? It's for yourself. The reality is not for yourself. Beloni. It's for Vinny and for George and for Amigo. It's for them. And that's against the Torah. Every second that she leaves her house, it's a sin against the Torah. And they're not aware of it. Any woman here can be brave and tell me that she knows all the laws of modesty from A to Z, everything, what's allowed, what's not allowed. At least she learned it 5-6 times to know, because this is the most important thing for a woman in this life. Because all the sins of a person, it's individual sins. Lack of modesty, it's a distraction to the entire world, to everybody who look at her. So that means if a woman makes sin 70 years, 70 years between her and God. One time she ate something not kosher. One day she didn't daven. One day she got angry at someone. Count all her sins. One time by mistake she did not keep Shabbat 100%. She made a mistake in a cooking. All kinds of things. Add what she does in 70 years, it's not 1 hour walking here on Main Street or on Union Turnpike, not modest. It's not 1 hour. If you put it on a scale, the hour she just walked from here to the store, and everybody looked at her in the store, out of the store, getting into her car, or in the wedding and all these things, or in the lobby over there. 1 hour that 500 men looked at her, and everybody thought whatever he thought, and what came out of it, it's worse than 70 years of sins. If the lady would know it, they pull their hair out. They don't know it. Why they don't know it? Ignorance. They never learn. The most important thing for a lady in the Torah is what? Modesty. The woman that died, only about her, about modesty they talk to her. And she is a religious woman from Muncie. Supposed to be the highest league in America, Muncie, no? One of the important religious neighborhood. They criticize her completely. Not only about her, about all the way the religious girls are dressed. None of them dressed according to the halakha. None. And that's what she said. My wife was telling me on the way out. She was lucky to return. What happened if she wouldn't return? She would be finished. All her religion wouldn't help her a bit. Why? It's called Machti Arabim. Makes publics commit sins because of me. Influence men to make sins. Every second of my life it's a sin for the public. Now one day I want to make repentance for it. Where will I find all these guys to apologize to them? Because I hurt each one of their souls. Where would I find them? I don't even know who looked. It's impossible to correct. Where are you going to find it? So you know what? When it's impossible to correct, you don't make any damage. If it's easy to correct, no, we broke the chair. I know how to fix it. 2 minutes, I fix it. No problem. If it's impossible to correct, you don't play with fire. Let's go back to our subject. Personality, it's the key number one. You work on yourself. You get books. You sit with your wife every night, 15 minutes. If you see you have problems in the house, 15 minutes, you sit with your wife. You learn with her together. You take a book, you learn Musar. You learn about pride, honor, jealousy, laziness, modesty, lashon hara, watching the eyes, children education, all these things. That's one thing. Second, the children, you cannot give them whatever they want. You think by giving them a lot, you're helping them? You're destroying them with your hands. Today, especially in today's generation, you got to be very clever. I don't say not to give anything. But the more you give them, the more it will be used against you. You wait and see. You think, oh, my son has his own room, he has his own car when he's 16, he has 5 bicycles in a garage, he has this, he has that, he has all the Game Boys, he's going to vacation twice a year, everything he wants, he has his own credit card. He's 10 years old, he has a cell phone. And then you expect this son to be successful in Torah? Why does he even want to open a book? It's impossible. How is he going to get married, this guy? Such a spoiled kid you raised. Some people, they put all their children in one room. They have other rooms in the house. In the old days, our parents, you know how they grew up? 8 in a room. 8. So when one of them wanted to learn, and they were just washing the floor, there's no place to learn. It's all 8 people sleep in one room. When Rabbi Ovadia was a kid, he wanted to learn Torah, and his mother was washing the floor. This is how he used to learn. He stand on the chair like this, excuse me, and learn Torah like this. There was no place to stand in a house. Why? Such a small house. Such a small house. There's no place to go. So he stand on a chair for an hour and learn. Why? Because they wash the floor. You understand? Today, impossible. Again, if you don't work on yourself, your marriage cannot be successful. Don't blame others. First start with yourself. 3 months, you don't argue, you don't make comments, everything is fine, I have no demands. You have food, very good. You don't have food, no problem. I'll take myself a piece of bread, put some cheese, I eat. I don't die. Why there's no food? No problem, no food. You didn't have time to make food, no problem, I'm okay. Why the house is not clean? No problem. If it doesn't bother you, it's fine with me. I'm sure you were busy. How is this food? Excellent. Always excellent. How is my body? Excellent. Don't I need to lose weight? Send somebody else to tell her, not you. Send your sister. You tell her it's finished. Send somebody, send the neighbor. Do me a favor, tell my wife she has to lose 300 pounds. All day she's eating. Why don't you tell her? Come on, I'll tell her that my marriage will be over. You understand? Now let's talk a little bit more about the children before we finish. The children. First of all, some people think that by showing the children all these religious videos, oh, that's kosher. Rabbi agree, no? It's this, it's that, it's this kid, it's that. It's all religious people. Sometimes the movies are okay, if you can call it okay. But the problem is that inside these movies, they also have things that destroy the children's soul. First, guns. They started to put in all these videos now guns. People with guns, robbing, running, shooting. That's not so good. Second, they show inside things that the kids didn't know about. Some of the kids, they're now 10, 11, 12 years old, they never heard about robbing a bank with a gun. They never heard about a fist fight. Now they see this video, punching, cursing, running, police. It develops their mind, and they're starting to think about what's out there. You want to open the mind of your children? One time a guy told me, you, the religious people, you have a serious problem. You are such a closed mind that you don't let your children see anything. It's like such a torture. Wow, you know, your son, you just told me your son is 10 years old, he never saw a goy. Because I said in a lecture, my son never saw a goy until once, first time, my wife didn't find anything in a store. She had to go to Petmark. That's a different story over there. There's goyim over there. So when she went to Petmark, the boy looked at one of the ladies that work in the register, and he asked my wife why she didn't get dressed today. She was wearing short sleeves. He never saw such a thing in his life. So two things he saw first time in his life. Goya, a non-Jewish woman, and a woman that wasn't dressed modestly. So I was shocked. So when I said that in the lecture, I thought that this guy would be intelligent enough to be jealous with our lifestyle. Instead, he criticized me. He said, oh, you guys, you don't let your children see anything until one day they open up their eyes and they get shocked. So I told him, you let your son see everything? Everything? He said, sure. I show him everything. Whatever he chooses, it's fine by me. So I told him, no, you're not honest. Did you ever take your son to this club over there in the village at 2 o'clock at night to show him what they do over there, all these psychos over there? Without giving too much details. He said, crazy? He's 6 years old. So you see, you're such a hypocrite. You just told me about this kid that I don't let him see ABC. Why don't you take your son over there? Let him see what they do over there. Maybe you want to be one of these guys over there soon when he grow up. Why don't you show him that? No, that's crazy. What? It doesn't make sense. Who wants to show such a thing to his son? See, you fool. For you, it's the end of the world. For me, that's the end of the world. Why? Because Hashem told me that's the end of the world. If your son will see how they get dressed, he will be like them. It's the end of the world. It doesn't have to be like these people in a club. It starts way before that. You understand? Whatever you show them today, 10 years later, you pay the price. When you go to a restaurant, they see how you make Birkat Hamazon in less than a minute. Right away, you look around, looking at your cell phone 10 times in the middle. Then all of a sudden you find yourself in the middle of Purim. You're in Birkat Hamazon. What am I doing? Mordechai, Esther? It's not even Hanukkah now. Your son looks at you once, twice. What are you expecting? Then you scream in the house. Did you make Birkat Hamazon? Go make Birkat Hamazon. He's not interested because you're worse than him. Then you tell him, why are you lying all the time? Why are you a liar? Why are you lying? Because you're also a liar. But he's embarrassed to tell you. Just an hour ago, somebody called for you. You say, I'm not home. Tell him that I'm not home. Now you tell me not to be a liar. Why you tell me not to think about money and about nonsense if every car you see, you speak about it? Wow, what a Mercedes. See this car, 300. I heard there's only 10 like this in the world. If you show your children that that's what you care about, they'll be even worse than you. What? Then you come and try to give them a speech. Why you only talk about nonsense all the time? I learned that from you. That's the problem. So it starts from you, One time an Iraqi guy came to me, especially from Great Neck, all the way to Muncie. That means it was important to him. Came to me, come to my house, knock on the door, shalom. Somebody gave me your address, I came over. Yes, I have to talk to you. No problem, come in. He takes out a key with a beautiful electronic key, a Mercedes. He showed me from the window. You see this Mercedes? It's yours. Take it. I say, okay, what? What's the... I'm thinking, what does he want me to do? To take a suitcase full of drugs to Israel? Something? Nobody give you a Mercedes. Then I got surprised. What does he want me to do? To convince his son not to get married to the Goya. He has a son. In 2-3 weeks, he wants to marry to a non-Jew. You cancel the wedding, keep the car. I get you the title, it's yours. I begin to talk to him now. I say, what about you? I say, no, I didn't come to hear from you Musar, for me. Leave me out of it. This is the deal. You get this boy out of here. So when he tells me, leaves me out of it, my Yetzer Hara tell me I got to start with him. So I begin to tell him, why don't you keep Shabbat? No, why do you worry about me? I'm talking to you about my son. So I told him, you don't get it, huh? You came to your son, I can tell you what happened. You told your son to leave her. So your son told you, she's a great girl, why should I leave her? Why? I love her. So you told your son, yeah, but it's not allowed. So your son told you, who said it's not allowed? So you say, the Torah. So your son told you, but you also don't listen to the Torah, so why you tell me to listen to the Torah? You see, I told him, if you were keeping Shabbat, your son wouldn't meet Christine. One guy, he came to the rabbi, he said, Rabbi, before I die, make sure you bury me with a long warm coat and $5 in the pocket. So the rabbi never heard such an unusual request. So the rabbi said, I'm very curious, why you want a long coat and a $5 in the pocket? He said, I know my children. When it's going to be the resurrection of the dead, one day I'm going to come out of my grave, could be it's going to be December, it's going to be cold winter. So I want to have a long coat, because my sons will not deliver me a coat, and I want to have $5 to buy a hot cup of coffee. So I want to protect myself. So the rabbi told him, don't worry about the resurrection of the dead. You for sure will not resurrect. So he told him, why? Why you say such a thing? So the rabbi told him, if you have such children, you for sure don't wake up in the resurrection of the dead. After you left such a disaster in the world, you want to get up. If your children will not worry about running, getting you a warm coat and a cup of coffee, that means you failed big time in your life. It's your fault. It's not their fault, it's your fault. If your children are like this. Whatever you show them, that's what they became. Whatever you remember, whatever you show, that's what they see. If you come home, you show them all you care is about money. Money, money, money. About this and about that. No Torah. When two people come to you. When the rabbi comes to you, no, the rabbi comes to me. After the rabbi leaves, they laugh at him. You saw what car he has? $2,000 car. This rabbi, look at. Then one Guido came. It's like this, $10,000 suit, $200,000 car. Oh, how are you, Moshe? Come, no problem. So how's business? No, don't. There's anything? Tell me. Maybe there's where to invest. Almost you kissed his legs, this Moshe. Why? He has money. So you almost died for him. But for the rabbi, one guy told me, Rabbi, I want to bring you to speak in one place, but I hope you're not getting offended. I want to go take you to a place, I want to buy you a $1,500 suit. I thought maybe I didn't clean my ears good on Friday. So I told him, you want to buy? I didn't understand. I was sure that I'm not hearing right. So I said, what do you mean? To me? You want to buy to me a suit? Why? I have a suit. It's okay. It's not $1,500 suit. $200, it's also fine. So he said, no, I know how these people are thinking. So if the first thing when you come to the place, before you open your mouth, they're going to check you from top to the bottom. And they're going to check what car you came with. So I'm going to rent you a very expensive car to come to this place. After that, you go back to your $200 suit. So then I realized, I said, wow, I'm dreaming. I know that people are addicted to this, but that's so bad that this guy, he meant well. He wanted to affect these people, but he knows that they are so rotten and they are so much in the lie of this world that they only appreciate a person for what he wears, not what comes out of his mouth. You understand? So you want to be successful, you got to show them you're top of the line professional. Good thing you didn't want to buy me a Rolex just for the night. But you understand the idea how low we came. In the old days, the rabbis used to fix shoes. Go to the market, he fix shoes. A guy comes to the rabbi, 12 years old kid. Rabbi, fix the shoe for me. He sits, taking nails. When I was a kid, I saw holy people working in the market, selling vegetables, selling shoes. Why? They didn't want to take tzedakah from anyone. They wanted to pay their own bills. Imagine if we had a rabbi that fixed shoes in the market today. It will be all over the news. Instead of running after him and kissing his hand, you a holy man. Finally, we have someone like you, like in the old days. Today, we don't want to talk to him. Look at him. We fix shoes. You understand the point here? Who was the greatest Sephardic rabbi until 10 years ago? In the whole world. All the Torah by heart, all the Kabbalah by heart, perfect personality, perfect midot, Rav Ben Zion Abba Shaul. Heard about him? Top of the line. He was sitting in a kitchen in the evening with his wife, peeling okra for her. With a knife. You go into his house, you think he has a booth in a market. All the Torah by heart. A mind better than computer. Comes home, he sits with his wife in the kitchen, in a very small little apartment in Yerushalayim, preparing the okra for Shabbat. Where do you see rabbis peeling okra today? Ask a rabbi once in his life he peeled okra. He knows what okra is, cucumbers, potatoes he makes. But the Gemara says, read in the Gemara, the greatest rabbis in the history used to go bring water from the well, used to sew for Shabbat, used to clean the house for Shabbat, used to cook, used to go to the market to shop for Shabbat, used to slaughter the animal, prepare meat. The biggest rabbi in the world, his hand is full of blood and dirt. He's preparing meat for Friday night's meal. Why? Because they were down to earth. Today everybody is in the sky. You want me to touch this? What the disrespect? Where is your respect? Why? Well, Ben Zion Abba Shaul wanted to go to a wedding. He came to the yeshiva. He said, anybody goes to the wedding? One guy came and said, Rabbi, I go to the wedding, but you have a car? Can I come with you? He said, I don't have a car, I have a Vespa. You know what a Vespa is? You know? Like a scooter, but it has a boat attached to it. So 2 passengers, the scooter, and there's like a boat with a chair attached to it on the side. So he said, Rabbi, there's a scooter with a boat like this. You don't have no roof. You sit there and everybody see you on the street, and it makes a lot of noise. Very old one. So he told him, he didn't understand what the problem is. So he said, it's driving? So yeah, it's driving, but it's open. So okay, no problem. He's going to take us to the wedding? Yeah. So he sat inside and they driving in Yerushalayim. Driving. Every red light that they stop, all the people looking at him like this. And they point, the kids, the people, the wives, they point at him from across this. It took him a few minutes to realize. He was so humbled, he didn't even know there's a problem here. He didn't even know. Then he realized, wow, they're looking at me, I'm the head of the court, the Jewish court, the Av Bet Din, all the Dayanim, all the judges under me. I am the most important Dayan in a Beis Din, and I sit in a place like this, and everybody pointed at me, maybe it's embarrassment. So he came out of the car, he said, stop. He came out, and standing on the street crying. Started to cry like this. Rabbi, what happened? He said, I made Chilul Hashem. I almost fainted. I made Chilul Hashem. For him, he didn't care. Scooter, Mercedes. For me, it's all the same nonsense. I have to get to the wedding. That's what's important right now. But when he realized that the level of the people is so low, that for them it was something out of the ordinary. They never saw such a thing, that such an important person will sit in such a scooter. And they all started to point at him. He realized, after a few minutes, he just realized. He got up and started to cry. Why? Not for me. For me, it doesn't matter. Now they say, look at the Torah, look at the rabbis. They sit in a scooter. You understand what's going on here? He started to cry. That's 10 years ago. 10 years ago. He passed away 10 years ago. You understand? We have a lot of work to do. To become religious is not just to keep Shabbat, wear a tight skirt and a jacket, go to work from morning to night, watch the news, go to vacation every 2 weeks, and that's it. I'm a righteous Jew. It's a dream. No, it's not true. There's a lot of work to do from the minute you open your eyes until the minute you close your eyes. You have to sleep not too many hours. You have to dedicate time non-stop to your children, to the house, to your learning, to chesed, to volunteering, to do for others. The most important thing is to learn a lot of Torah, male and female. Female thinks Torah is only for the husband and my boys, not for me. Wrong. Every woman has to learn minimum 2 hours a day. Minimum. Without this, she's not going to know what to do. She has to learn all the laws of the kitchen. Vegetables, worms, meat, dairy, kosher, not kosher, accident happen in the kitchen, Pesach, how to clean, what to replace. There's a lot to learn. If she never learned, every week she make other people eat worms non-stop. There's a lot to learn. To keep Shabbat, you need to learn years to know how to keep Shabbat. What do you think? Just not to light fire, not to smoke, no electric, and few other things. That's Shabbat? Shabbat, it's like a huge mountain. There's so much to learn. It's complicated. So there's a lot to learn. Modesty, there's a lot to learn. Husband and wife, there's a lot to learn. Nida, the laws of Nida. You know what a complicated laws it is? There's a lot to learn. If a woman will learn every day 2 hours, after a year, she will not finish what she has to know. Today, she reads Tehillim 10 minutes a day. Maybe she davens Shachrit if she's lucky, if she had time today, runs to the bus, whatever, in between the children. Sometimes it's years. Years she never read one good book. Years. What do? 10 minutes a day, Tehillim. How you keep mitzvot? How do you know what to do? Who teach you? Your husband? No, my husband is at work all day. 10 years. They married together. The husband has a beautiful long beard. His peos already is wider than the entire block. You ask him a minimum halacha, minimum. Every day halacha, every little kid in yeshiva knows it, he doesn't know. I see it all the time. I'm not making up stories. 10 years, people think he's a rabbi in a shul. He doesn't know Aleph Bet, nothing. What do you do in this case? What do you do in this case? Is this allowed? Is this Lashon Hara? I'm not sure. Is this Lashon Hara? I'm not sure. Is this allowed? Not allowed. Somebody asks you about Shidduch. You're allowed to say, no, how can I say such a thing? If you don't say, you're a murderer. You just murder a person. How don't you know it? Why didn't you finish the Chafetz Chaim at least once in your life? What do you mean? I'm going to say that this guy is a thief? What do you mean? This girl is about to marry him. Her blood is not red like him. You want her to finish her life? There are laws to learn every day. Nobody knows. What happens if you can't get a hold of the rabbi? By the time you reach the rabbi, the kid will be dead on Shabbat, chas v'shalom. Why? Because he didn't know if you're allowed to start the car or not. Because you never learn. You never learn that if the kid has fever and there's nobody there to ask, you take him and you take him to the hospital. And you don't wait until the goy will come 10 minutes. By then, he's going to be dead. Or in pregnancy, on all kinds of things. There's so much to learn. Nobody wants to learn. Nobody wants to learn. Restaurant, this restaurant, that, they're opening a new restaurant every week. A new restaurant. Everybody must be there. Grand opening, Rabbi, they give free Chinese. Piamenta is going to play. He's a great player, don't get me wrong. Torah always comes first. The Torah comes first. If you want to be successful in your marriage, in your children's education, you start with yourself. Then you see everything else follows. The kids wants to do more. The wives don't argue anymore. It's all start with this. You don't want? That's what the Torah says. Birtzot Hashem darkei ish, gam oivav yashlim imo. When Hashem is satisfied from a Jew, his enemies run to make peace with him. Chazal say, who is his enemies? His wife and his children. When he goes against God, you the enemy of God, your wife and your children become your enemy. You my lover, you surrender to me, your wife and your children don't give you any hard time. Yes sir, no problem Abba, no problem. You understand? You make peace with Hashem, everything else follows. Thank you very much, good night.
רוצים להודות לכבוד הרב, באמת היה מאוד מאוד מעניין, we hope, we ask the rabbi please come every, maybe if not once a month, but
once a month is good.
זה אפשר כבודו, ברח שמיתנו מאוד נהנינו מהשיעור.
בשמחה רבה.
Thank you very much.